There we go.
All right. Well, we're going to give a couple seconds while we wait for a few people. I brought my family to help, the Nomios, so it should be a good time. And I have my moving truck here to help along in case for visuals, of course. So I'm super excited about all this for our little horror stories and red flags. So, yeah. How you doing today, Andres?
I'm great. I'm really looking forward to hearing some of these stories.
Yeah, me too.
And by the way, we did not...
Jackson's artwork all around me, so.
I like it. I still want one from my place.
Yeah. I'm gonna send you one for quarantine presents.
I like it.
They literally wrap around the whole basement, just all a whole bunch of pictures like this.
I mean, makes decorating easier, you know.
You can't do better. It's okay. You can't do any better than this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that. So, well, let's enjoy this 12:30 lunch and learn. I've already had my lunch, so now I'm here to teach and learn. So I'm really happy with that. Yours are bad necks. So kind of what we're going to talk about today is some horror stories that people have heard about moving, and then also, red flags to look for. And of course, a couple ideas of kind of what you can do when you're going through the moving process to really kind of get yourself the best mover possible. Right here. We're not biased at all. There's going to be some memes that are going to pop up, a couple of fun things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sharing my screen. I'm going to move my computer out of here and then kind of show you guys some of the fun that I have started here. I'm going to start from the beginning. Now, I keep myself kind of going in the center there. You can find a lot of memes kind of throughout the whole genre of the internet everywhere you go, because everyone hates moving, from the packing to where it's going to go. Let's be honest, it's a huge pain in the ass, and where to find quality boxes, how to pack, something or someone to move all my crap. And of course, the time, the stress it takes to move. That's why people use a moving company. It negates a lot of that stress. It allows you to be able to kind of be happy. And when you get to the new house, it's virtually ready to go. We all want move-in ready. And that makes the move-in ready house move-in ready from day one. Sadly, we all heard the horror stories about these moving companies. And to be honest, it's a massive black mark for our industry. And for us to shy away from it and not talk about it would be a disservice to reputable companies, such as Moyer & Sons. So what can a person do to find a good moving company? Well, that's a great question. First, let's get into some horror stories. Brought the family along to have some fun. None of the pictures you're going to see are going to have any major moving companies on them. I don't want to do that to them. I don't want to call anyone out. Everyone has a bad day. But it's going to be things that you really want to look for over the years. I've heard more than our fair share of these moving stories. And sadly, they're too common. I'm not saying they're common, they're just too common. So here what we're going to focus on is those horror stories. As you can see, the corner over there is the one where I think it was Miami, and someone moved themselves, forgot to lock the back of the truck, and all of their personal items went all over A1A. Right? And that's ridiculous. Like, are you kidding me? The Ryder truck in the house, that's just impressive. I can't believe someone was able to do that. That's scary. I can imagine if you're watching TV at 9 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden there's a Ryder truck through your living room. I would be, of course, horrified. But let's talk about it. Wait, that's not who I hired. This is a horror story of a super nice lady. She lived in an upscale neighborhood, settled on a closing date. She realized that it was coming up fast, so she said, "Hey, I'm going to hire a mover. It's exactly what I need right now." So that same weekend, she saw a family that she knew, and they were actually moving out. They hired a moving company. She walked over and she found a mover and said, hey, and talked to them about moving. They had the trucks, they had all the equipment, and the mover said, absolutely, we can do it. 2 weeks from now, I'll be here. And he agreed upon a price. So she was happy, really excited about it. And 2 weeks came by. And she opens the door to the mover, who has a bunch of friends with old pickup trucks. So that's why I have pickup trucks and these things. A bunch of friends in old pickup trucks, not really any material to do anything except some old boxes, through a little bit of limited packing, and some old dollies. So she was so concerned. What happened? What did I do wrong? So the answer is what happened. Why did it go from her opening her door to seeing a beautiful beautiful truck out front to what just happened? It was the mover's first time working for the company. He went off, and what a lot of movers do, and it's again, not us, just this is what has happened in some parts of the industry, where they will go to an estimate. They'll write you, say, hey, this is how much your estimate is. You agree upon it. And then they take 10 to 20% off the top. And then they third party it out. They hand it to somebody else, and they say, okay, I'm done here. Then it's up to whoever that person is. Then they put together their team. So the original company usually doesn't know who the movers are. They may know who the driver is, but they don't know who the actual movers are. You only get talk to the movers. So after they have that move, 10 to 20% is off. Then the driver wants to earn as much money as possible, so he gets the lowest wage people as possible. So the people coming into your home are people they don't know, that you don't know, that the company doesn't know, and it's just bad interest for all customers involved. It's horrible, to be perfectly honest with you. And of course, when she got her estimate done, there really was no estimate. They didn't walk on the house. They didn't come by. Nothing happened. It was just a simple, hey, I'll do it for this much. And, she was smart enough to say, I'm not going forward with this, pulled out after they got there, and we were actually able to do the move the next day, which is not a common thing. So I felt really bad for her, and she was a really wonderful person, just a bad situation. And this happens more times than people, imagine, just because of that third party. Obviously, we don't do third party through many of our moves. If we do a third party, they have been fully vetted, and they are backed by us. And that case usually happens, in a long distance term where we're going to California. We have 2 movers in our big, beautiful blue trucks. And then we get there and we need to hire 2 other movers. So we'll call it a reputable moving company in California, get 2 of their quality men who have been vetted, background checked, drug tested, get them onto our move so we know what we're dealing with and who we're dealing with. And that's important. So that's, who I hired. This one really pissed me off. This is the Barstow Ransom. I don't mean to put Barstow down. If you've been, it's as beautiful as it looks in these photos. So last year, 2 years ago, we got a phone call from a very upset man. They had moved from us from Maryland to California a few years before that. They loved everything we did, loved Moyer and Sons. But in California, driving back to Maryland, they found a really good deal. They were super excited about it. They're going to get all their stuff. It's as they put it, it was a crazy good deal. On moving day, the guy showed up moving trucks. I mean, there was a magnet on the side. She had a picture, but they were nice trucks. Nothing really out there. Just, okay, great. They packed the house. They left to go to Maryland. She stopped and said, hey, guys, as we're leaving, you guys mind if I buy you dinner? I'll buy you guys dinner as an appreciation. And without really saying much, they kind of took off without even really answering that question, which was kind of weird. Usually they'd say something. So off they go. She gets in her car, checks a couple of things. She drives all the way across country over a couple of days. Checks through the moving company. Everything is fine. Everything's fine. She gets to Maryland. waits a day, no truck, no nothing. Calls them back, and they say, hey, so it's not enough money. It's not enough money for us to get your stuff to your house in Maryland. So what we're going to do is we need you to pay us $3,000 plus an additional $3,000 plus whatever the daily self-storage charges are for your stuff. And it's all located in Barstow, California. And it was what? Yeah. So they explained the amount. They quoted wasn't enough. They now have the stuff ransom. They now have all the stuff in the storage unit that every single day is getting accrued. This is horrible. They're literally holding a lifetime of these houses, of this stuff hostage. And it's absolutely insane. And it really pisses me off. We were able to kind of put them in the right direction to kind of get this all taken care of. There are avenues, but it was, that's something where it really puts a bad light for us in the moving world. We don't do that. Sorry, I need a bigger truck. Again, can you imagine you have a moving day pops up, everyone's ready to go, mover shows up with a really small rented truck, and you're kind of going, how is all my stuff going to fit in there? Well, it's not. Then that mover packs the truck up the best they can, turns around and says, I'm sorry, that's all we can do, and leaves, leaving you there with whatever's left over. And this, again, these are stories that I hear, and I get, fumed. You didn't bring a big enough truck. I know Warren & Sons, most of our trucks range in that 25, 26-foot range to the 56 feet, and people always say, oh, that truck's too big. Well, we don't really need a smaller truck. If your stuff fits in there, it fits in there. If we don't build the whole truck, it's okay. But we have the room rather than the opposite. So there's a couple good stories. When? Oh, God. I'm going to take a drink of water. I talk a lot, guys. I'm really sorry about that. So when is my move arriving? Your stuff gets picked up. You leave your house, just like the lady from California. And you get there and you go, okay, well, my stuff's supposed to be here on Friday. Friday shows up. Nothing. You call. Nothing. Monday, nothing. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, nothing. Where are my items? Non-reputable moving companies don't really give you a good time to look. You always have a spread. You always have an area. But by the time your stuff's actually picked up, we have a decent idea of when it's going to arrive. And if it doesn't arrive, then there'll be a lot of contact with why. Maybe with weather. If you're going to the Northeast in the middle of the winter, there's a chance there's going to be a delay. But we'll tell you that as a reputable moving company. There are companies that don't. They just kind of, I've heard stories they just disappear and they don't come back for an entire week or two. And they show up and they don't even apologize. They just, oh yeah, sorry, they were ready to get paid. And your stuff was just gone. It disappeared. I also know, the reputable moving company like Moyer & Sons, we have tracking on all the long distance trucks, so we kind of know where they are at all times. So if there is, a flat tire or, we had one truck got hit by the lightning, and we had to get another truck out there to do that move. I think it delayed us a day. Of course, the customer was aware, but the truck got hit by lightning. These things happen, but we let them be aware. It's the ones that don't that scare me. So now here comes the fun ones. You just heard some really wonderful horror stories about moving. What red flags should you look for during this time so you don't get to that point? Ooh, that's called graphics right there. First thing is if you see a truck or your moving truck pulls up, look for a logo. This is actually a move that I did. Yeah, I know. Again, I get out of the trucks. I like it. The guy had a little magnet logo, very dirty truck. They're not even using, if you notice, our big, beautiful blue truck right behind it. These are both moving trucks. They didn't get to the dock. They didn't reserve the dock. We did. We reserved the elevator. They didn't. That's actually the entrance to that garage. So they blocked the entrance to the garage. They had a bunch of trash bags and really, like flimsy boxes moving things in and out because we had reserved the elevator. They had not talked to the company at all about this. They had to walk up, 3, 4 flights of steps back and forth. That took more time. The more time it takes, the more money you spend. So these guys weren't even going to be cheaper than us. They were just told them it was going to be. So of course we get in and out. I think that move for us was wonderful. But what you're looking for is a truck with no logo or a magnet logo. Old dirty trucks. If they're not going to keep their trucks clean, what kind of care are they going to give the items that you have every single day? That's a really crazy answer. The answer is not really well. It's a dirty truck. Your stuff's going to get not taken care of. Huge red flag. The elevator thing I just talked about, you've got to reserve the elevator. If you don't reserve the elevator, these people are going to take a lot of their stuff up and down steps. And if you live on a high rise, that could take hours of agony if your stuff can't get against the walls. So that's a huge red flag if they're not asking about that or doing that. How far away is your condo apartment from the elevator? Do you have the elevator reserved? Do you have the docking reserved? If not, that's a red flag. They're not asking these questions. This picture I actually took in my neighborhood. If you notice, it's a old Penske truck, and they took it and they just kind of put more paint on it. Again, on the front door, there's a quick magnet. The magnet was probably decades younger than the actual truck, so it's a nice magnet. But they not only is the truck halfway out of the driveway, blocking traffic with no cones or nothing around it, but also they were unpacking in the front yard. This was probably like 9 o'clock in the morning, so there's still dew in the front yard. So all of their items were getting wet as they were packing them up. And it just shows you the quality you get without knowing it. So that's a red flag. Again, truck shows up and that's what it looks like. That's a problem. And all the packing material all over the ground, all over the front yard. Massive red flag. This truck looks beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But if they thought it was so wonderful, why doesn't the whole trailer have a back with a logo on it? This truck, I just happen to know, got broke down and that trailer had to be put out on the side of a road in the middle of the country for 2 days. If you truly believe in what you're doing, you'll logo it. You'll have people know who you are. You'll take pride in your company. Red flag. I know, I got creative with my PowerPoint. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh.
What? Seriously. I don't even know how they got that in there. I even think it's a Maryland license plate, but I don't know how.
That's just scary. Wow.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And that is a good car in the back of a truck. Again, I don't know. But that's a massive red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we move cars? Absolutely. They go in the back of the big truck. It doesn't look like that. That's ridiculous. So, red flags up front. Of course, let's talk about cheap estimates. And I call them cheap, low cost. Sometimes they seem too good to be true. It's because they are. We talked about estimates in a previous Facebook Live where you really got to look out for, especially comparing apples to apples. So if it seems too good, it is. They often have hidden fees. How is their treatment of the household items? You saw that truck. It was dirty, and they were taking people's stuff up and down steps, knocking into stuff with trash bags and really bad boxes. That's your lifetime there, and people are treating it literally like trash. The lack of customer service. If you can't call and get an answer to a question, massive red flag. That is a massive red flag. Or if the answer doesn't seem right. And of course, we talked about before, unknown third-party movers. If the company doesn't know who's moving you, that's a big issue. Want good quality for whoever's going to move you. Reputation. Up front, you can look at a reputation. Have you heard of the company before? Have you seen the company around town? Has the company been driving around? The answer is yes, if you've seen them. How long have they been in business? Some companies have been in business over 50 years. And this is a huge one, are they a member of the community? If they're ingrained in the community, that means they're not going anywhere. That means it's important to them to take care of you. if they are part of the community, if you've never heard of them, and it's really cheap, these are massive red flags that you have to worry about. Reputation matters. Reviews. There's always going to be a negative review no matter where you go. People are never happy with everything. You know that. You may find a pizza place to be amazing. Someone else says the worst pizza in the world. But it's the consistency. You have good reviews on all these items, and plus someone asks you word of mouth. That goes along with that reputation. Look at the consistency of it. It's very hard to keep a good 4.5 to 5 stars on all these areas unless you are a good company. Also, make sure that when you research a company, you're researching the correct company. Some moving companies have the same name, and they're in different parts of the nation. So make sure if you're looking for one in Maryland and you look at it, make sure it says Maryland, because if you don't, we had someone who actually was looking at one for reviews in Oklahoma City and didn't know it, and they ended up going to that company and was very disappointed with it. Website. Check out the website. Websites are the lifeblood of especially now with what's going on, ways to communicate what's going out there. If they haven't updated their websites, if there's not ways to pay, if there's not contact information, and again, if they don't even have a website at all, that's a red flag, which you can see with the moving red flags could not be found. I just made up a domain name rather than call somebody out on it. But you want to check out the website. Massive red flag. And no license or certifications. In the state of Maryland, it's now starting to be where you have to have license, MMTA license. Nationwide, you want to have the Pro Mover seal. You want to have these 2 seals in the state of Maryland. In the state of Virginia, most people don't know if it's under 31 miles that they're moving, people don't necessarily have to be licensed. So make sure you're checking for those licenses. Make sure that they have the certifications, because you don't want people moving your stuff that don't have them. A DOT number is not enough. That just means they operate a vehicle. You want to also make sure that they have these licenses and they can tell you their license number. So that way you are prepared and you know you're getting a quality company. Specifically the Pro Mover, you really want to push Pro Mover in Maryland MMTA. So that's my little red flags, and I'll throw my hat back on. My hair's starting to get curly. My little red flags, and of course, horror stories. Andres, any questions or anything?
Let me just check. No questions, but I think all that information was really, really good. I mean, the whole story with the ransom, that's just crazy.
Yeah, no, it really is. And I mean, they wanted $3,000 on top. I don't think that go $3,000 on top of the move plus all the daily storage. It was, yeah, it really, really pissed me off. I did not like that at all. Just to hear that people are doing that, it puts such a bad mark on our industry.
Mm-hmm. And I think at the end of the day, it's always, my grandpa used to say, it's all in the details. You got to look at the little things to know who you're dealing with.
100%. And so there's a couple of things up front that you people can do to look for those red flags so those horror stories don't happen to them. And again, if you have any questions or have any moving needs, ask us. Even if we can't specifically help you as a moving company, but we have 51 years of knowledge. If there's a question, ask. We may have an answer that you may absolutely adore and really be the answer you were looking for. Our job and our desire is to do what's best for our customers. So not only do we make them a customer today, but also a lifetime. That's how you get to 51 years.
Agreed.
Okay. Are we anything else popping up? Or are we good to go?
I think we're good to go. That was great.
All right, guys. Well, appreciate it. Again, contact us, mooreandsons.com, and we're ready to help you out. And of course, don't forget our truck. It has our phone number on it. 1-800-726-1817. Okay, I'm going to bring back my family.
There we go. All right. Thank you, guys.